Good morning and welcome to Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquint, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group. One of the longest, if not the longest, I don't even know. It's too hard to look it up. One of the longest running financial shows in the world today. 20, I don't know how to count that high. It's a lot of years. Well over 20 years we've been right here doing this show day in, day out, delivering wealth insurance and economics with attitude to the masses out there. We do that the old-fashioned way. Yeah, that's, no bait and switch, right? No ripping you off and taking advantage of people, none of that stuff. No, we do it by treating everybody with honesty and respect. I know, right? It's shocking. And we operate at some of the, if not the lowest margins in the business. Single-digit stuff here. And you know what? We don't take your phone number. We don't call you. There's no free reports. I know, right? No. You're going. Listen, I'm going to just give you a quick heads up. If you want to get ripped off in the gold business, right? Because just like in every business, right? And I don't care if it's the financial industry. I mean, look at Wells Fargo, right? They're the biggest crooks of all time. Nothing ever happens to them, right? But insurance, everybody, there's always bad actors out there. But you want a surefire way of guaranteeing you're going to get ripped off. Call the gold companies that are going to give you free reports. I guarantee it. Because first of all, they're not free. If you've ever priced like a colored brochure, and you see these free reports, they're 5, 6, 10, 20 pages long, right? None of that's free. Oh, and you trust me, you pay for it by paying 30 and 40% commissions. We don't do any of that. Matter of fact, when we take your phone number, really simply because you want us to call you when we're going to ship. We do take your phone number when you pay by credit card, but just in case we have a problem with the card, we need to get a hold of you. But other than that, we have no outgoing sales calls, none. Right? We don't do any of that stuff. We keep our prices low. You know why? Because we keep our employee count low, right? We run this on the least amount of people possible, and by doing that, you know what? People tend to like it. Right? They like not getting ripped off. It's a shocking thing, and when they don't, they tend to reorder and tell their friends about it. 800-951-0592. That is our toll-free number. Of course, the website at allamericangold.com. Not only, speaking, we don't do free reports, but every day you go to our website. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. You go there, obviously, you go there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But Monday through Friday, we update it with news, videos, articles, cartoons, you name it. We got you can spend all day out there. You can shop online if you'd like. Don't forget our metals program, right, which we never talk about enough, and it's my fault. The greatest metals program in the history of metals programs. Some of you are like, what is metals? What is that? You can start buying gold. One of the things why we created the metals program was because I wanted people that didn't have, as an example, a $20 gold piece. It's $1,320. Hey, that's a lot of money. And unfortunately, for the vast majority of Americans, that's out of reach for them. And I said, there's got to be a better way. And so we created the metals program. And what it is there is a minimum, right? You got to have a minimum. It's $100 a month. So if you can afford $100 a month, there is no maximum, right? We've got people in the program that do $200 a month, $300 a month, $500 a month. We got a couple that do $2,000 a month. right? And everything else in between. But you can do as much as you like. You got to do at least $100 a month. And how it works is you put a card on file with us. Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, we take them all. You pick the day of the month you want us to charge your card. From the 1st to the 28th, right? Those are the days that you can elect to have it done. Obviously, because of February, there's no 29th, 30th, 31st. And then 4 times a year, we ship you your product. And the best part is we pool all of the money together. Because in volume, you get discounts. So you're going to be buying at the lowest pricing, which is just as important, and you get your physical gold. If you want more details, it's out there at allamericangold.com, or you can give Arlene a call here at the office. She'll walk you through it. Matter of fact, we just had 2 more people sign up yesterday. So it's a great program. We've been doing it for a number of years. I want to keep doing it for forever and ever. You know what? It's a great way to save money. Right, it's a great way to continue to always keep adding, because it's really easy to add to your portfolios when gold and silver are going up every day and everything's tough. It's a little harder to add when things are down, and that's really when you need to be adding the most. So it's a great program if you want to be involved in that. When we return, I'm going to go off the reservation a little bit and just tell you how diluted is the next generation. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. Also, a quick update here. So we've been telling you all of how we are improving our in-stock positions. A matter of fact, in Colorado, it's already done. All of our core items are going to be in stock all the time. At both locations, in both offices, in Colorado and in Phoenix. Yesterday, our gold got here. By the end of the week, my silver will be here, and then we'll be fully in stock in both locations. What does that mean? That means at any point you want to buy a $20 or $10 or $5 Liberty, you want to buy a Silver Eagle, a 10th-ounce Gold Eagle, we are going to have those in stock all the time. So you can just call up and tell Arlene, I want to come down and I want to pick up, 520s or 1010s or whatever it may be, and we'll say, come on down. Right? Same thing. Colorado, it may take, as Jason says, Jason will always tell you this, is he'll try to have something set up for you to come in within 24 hours. And same thing here. I mean, there's everybody, we're not a coin store. But what we do want is for everybody to have the convenience to pick up their products in a timely fashion or ship them in a timely fashion. We're not Amazon, right? It's not going to be there overnight. Can't ship gold that way because it's not insured that way. But everything, all of our delivery times on our core items are going to go much, much quicker now. And like I said, the ability to just go down there and get it within, the same day, the next day, just depending on what the schedule looks like at both locations now. So this is going to be, just so you know, on $20 gold, $10 gold, $5 gold, Silver Eagles. We will have at times also as well 10th-ounce Gold Eagles and $5 and $10 Indians as well. So we should be, and again, that's really when we put this together, we wanted to get 85-90% of our business handled that way. So just to let you know, we've got that completed. Platinum, not one of the items, by the way, platinum, not one of the items that we'll stock like that. The platinum ships today. So those of you that are waiting for platinum, it's on its way. And you'll be getting a call if you're going to be picking up here in Phoenix or in Colorado here, let's just say if you're lucky Friday, if not by Monday, we'll be calling you in both locations. If we're shipping it to you, it'll ship out the day that we get it here. At least, and I haven't checked it in the last couple of minutes, but platinum was up again today, so that makes me happy. 800-951-0592. Every generation You always, I'm 48 now, and I'm starting to say it myself. Man, I don't know about these kids, right? Right. And it's always been, right? I don't know about this next generation, right? They got problems, but right, probably rightfully so. But this next generation, these millennials, and I'm sure I'm going to be wrong. I want to be wrong. Arlene wants to be wrong. But, boy, it's getting hard. And I'm going to do something. I normally don't do this, but I can't help it. I have to. This has to do with a gal. Her name is Susan. Okay, now Susan, she was getting married. Okay, and Susan had saved $15,000, her and her fiance. And the funny part about this is as I was reading through this, so they got $15,000, but she wants a $60,000 wedding. Okay, and I'm thinking, I got coming from a guy that I got married in Eric's backyard, right? I mean, we made our own food, right? You talk about my wife and I got married on the beer budget. You know what I'm saying, right? We spared every expense. And here's this gal. She wants to have a $60,000 wedding. I'm going to read to you. She posted this on Facebook, and somebody put it out there for all of us to read. It comes with great sadness that I'm announcing the cancellation of my wedding. I apologize for canceling only 4 days beforehand, but unfortunately, I have broken up with my fiance due to some irreparable problems. We have decided to end our relationship and not go forth with any future proceedings. However, we are remaining civil and are still a team for our son. So they had a son, little color here. I think they've been going out since they were like 14 years old. Now they're in their 20s. After hours of tears, mental exhaustion, and even disassociation. Not even sure what disassociation means, but okay. I have come to this decision. In 1 hour after posting this status, I'm going to delete my Facebook. Social media has only caused me paranoia and toxicity. I will be spending the next 2 months backpacking in South America, exploring my soul, and ridding myself of toxic energy brought on by my friends and family. See, it's not my fault, right? This is going to be the not my fault generation. The ones who I thought I could trust the most, she wrote. Hence, I will be out of the country for all of October and November. Yes, because running away from your problems always fixes it. Please don't contact me. When I'm ready, I may make a new Facebook and add friends and family that haven't, and she uses a bad word here, that haven't blank stabbed me in the back. How did all of this come crashing down? Well, I invite you all on Facebook, she wrote. Players, bystanders, and side characters of the people in my life to take a seat and listen. You're all involved in this somehow. Right? See, again, right? It's not me, it's you. Somehow everyone is wrapped into this mess, even if you weren't invited to my wedding. Right? Wouldn't it be great? I wish I was just like this random friend of hers that you're like, what are you talking about? Even if you weren't invited to my wedding, I don't care. You might hear of the drama, and I'd rather you hear it from me. I just want to tell my story. Before I begin this mini novel, I invite all of you, including now this is another word you never say to a lady, okay, and it starts with a C, that's all I'm going to say, who have ruined my marriage and life. Now, again, nobody asked you to have a $60,000 wedding that you could not afford. Put yourself in my shoes, she wrote. For once, let me take the stage and let me voice the most painful few months of my life. Here's what she did. This is her Facebook post. She wanted to have this $60,000 wedding, even though they could not afford it. So she decided that she was going to ask everybody that she invited to the wedding to pay $1,500 in cash. And when they wouldn't do it, this is what happened. Unfortunately, my fiance and I have broken up due to some recent and irreparable problems. We've decided to end our relationship. I specifically, and I mean specifically, asked for cash gifts. Right, well, this is it, right? Anybody that's got a problem, you just do a GoFundMe page, right? How could we have the wedding of our dreams, well, maybe it was your dreams, without having proper funding, she wrote. We sacrificed so much. And I only asked for each guest for around $1,500. I mean, I even talked to a few people who promised us more to make my dreams come true. Well, she wrote our dreams, right? Somehow I don't think it was his. But anyway, she defended her desire for such a lavish ceremony, since our love was like a fairy tale. We wanted an extravagant blowout wedding. Yeah, the problem is you couldn't afford one. A local psychic told us to go with the most expensive option, right? That's like you going to a different gold dealer to buy your stuff, right? If you want to go for a more expensive option, go for it. And we thought, why the heck not, she wrote. We just needed a little push. Our dream wedding amounted to $60,000. All we asked for was a little help from our friends and family to make it happen. See, I'm a good person, right? I deserve this. People like me. Well, apparently people don't like her so much anymore. I mean, seriously, people. What is $1,000? What is $1,500? Clearly, it's not a lot. Well, clearly it is, because you don't have enough. It would be quite manageable if you just went on a budget. I can't make it up. I've heard of people asking for worse, see? Right? As long as they've asked for worse, then I guess I'm okay. My ex came into my room and offered to go to Vegas. Hey, honey, I got an idea. Forget about this $60,000 wedding. Why don't we just go to Vegas? Right? We got $15,000. We can afford that. I laughed in his face, but he was dead serious. He wanted those cheap, raggedy, filthy, whore-like Vegas weddings. I mean, what the F word? Was he out of his mind? Am I some hooch piece of effing trash? A hooker? She wrote this? Did she put this out there? I'm sorry. It's incredible. Am I supposed to like the idea of getting married in the heart of shady gamblers and alcoholics and getting the rich, fast fallacy? Suddenly, my body began to shake as I entered into a panic attack. My ex left the room, and he did not apologize for this horrid suggestion. I then called my maid of honor and cried my eyes out. Instead of sympathy, I was told by her that I was asking for way too much, and maybe I should stick to my budget. I mean, no words can describe. How could someone who offered me thousands of dollars, apparently the maid of honor was willing to give her some money, then deny it to me and then tell me to shift my budget down? She knows my F-word dream was a blowout wedding, and you know what? If I want it, I should be able to have it. I shouldn't have to work for it. This is how it is. And she goes on with a bunch more laced, let's just say obscene words that I can't say on the radio or I'll be thrown off. But this is the new generation, right? This is them. This is, and obviously not all of them, but you know what was so funny is in the beginning, I'll tell you, they started off so good, and then this happened. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, presenting a daily conservative perspective since 1983, continuing the legacy of Phyllis Schlafly. And now, from the archives of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, here is Phyllis Schlafly.
It's important for Americans to realize that the founders of the feminist movement were very anti-marriage. Betty Friedan started the feminist movement in the late 1960s with her book, The Feminine Mystique, which created the myth that suburban housewives were suffering from a sense of dissatisfaction with their alleged to be boring lives. She wrote about the need to liberate women from the home that Friedan labeled a comfortable concentration camp. The feminist movement worked tirelessly to make the role of full-time homemaker socially disdained. A job in the labor force was upheld as so much more fulfilling than tending babies and preparing dinner for a hard-working husband. Women's studies courses require students to accept as an article of faith the silly notion that gender differences are not natural or biological, but are social constructs created by the patriarchy and ancient stereotypes. This leads feminists to seek legislative corrections for problems that do not exist. Television is constantly peddling the falsehood that women's lives are full of misery and threats from men. Bernard Goldberg calls the mainstream media one of America's most pro-feminist institutions. According to feminist ideology, the only gender-specific characteristic is that men are naturally batterers who make all women victims. On that theory, the feminists conned Congress into passing the Violence Against Women Act, which includes a handout of $1 billion a year to finance the feminists' political, legislative, and judicial goals. Despite the false messages of colleges and the media, most American women reject the label feminist, and only 20% of mothers say they want full-time work in the labor force. Women suffering from unhappiness should look into how women are treated in the rest of the world, and then maybe American women will realize they are the most fortunate people on earth.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. The traditional family is the building block of our communities and country. That's why it's imperative to support strong marriages, respect fathers, and champion stay-at-home moms. To join us, visit phyllisschlafly.com. Thanks for listening, and join us again next time for the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
Want to make my dreams come true, all I'm asking for is all three people that are listening to please call and give $1,500, and I'll send you some gold and silver at 800-951-0592. And if you don't, I'm going to go on a rant on Facebook. I'd actually have to get the password from Ramon to do it. But neither here nor there. So here this thing is, and I only bring it up because I have to tell you what happened to me last night. So my wife and I are sitting there, and her phone rings, and she's on the phone, and next thing you know, you know the ones when you hear the drama, right? You're not sure what's being said, right? But you know there's some form of drama going on. And she gets off the phone, and I'm like, what was that about? She goes, homecoming. Okay, so you know my younger son, 15 years old, okay, sophomore in high school. Homecoming's coming up, okay, in I don't know how many weeks, 3-4 weeks, whatever it may be. And I'm like, what about it? Well, you know, last year there was a lot of drama about the homecoming, like that nowadays, like when we went to homecoming, you went with whatever girl you went with and like her girlfriend and one of your buddies, you go and you went together. Nowadays, apparently, at least at my school, my kids' school, right, they get a bus and like 30 or 40 kids go together. And apparently everybody's worried about who may or may not be on this bus. Because you know that their whole world's going to come to an end if they don't get on the cool kid bus, I guess, right? You know, this is the stuff that we're dealing with. It's nonsense. And I looked at my wife and I said, you know, our son does not care. She goes, oh, well, you know, it's you know, this mob or that mob, you know, it's always somebody out there. And I'm reading this post from this young lady here. And I'm just, it amazes me how people think about life and how shallow it all is. And this was a person who her and her boyfriend, fiance, had dated throughout high school. They both went to community college. They got pregnant, had a child, worked and went to school, got their degrees. Okay, they did a lot of good stuff. Saved $15,000. Now, you could have put that away, right? Maybe put it away for the kids' education or whatever. But, you know, have a wedding. You want to get married, have a wedding. Okay. Now, I don't know what weddings cost today. $15,000 would it's guessing. It's probably low budget. Right? But it was funny is she wanted to have, and she says this on her post, that she wanted to have a Kardashian wedding. Right? That was, you know, we are the Kardashians may have ruined the entire new generation. Right? And I'm just laughing because I'm thinking like $60,000 probably doesn't even pay for a Kardashian wedding dress, much less the whole thing. But neither here nor there. I just find it amazing. All the lives that are going to be ruined. She essentially ruins her entire life over something that, quite honestly, means nothing. I'm not saying getting married means nothing. And yes, obviously you want to have a nice wedding, but you had $15,000. Isn't that enough? I don't know. It just kind of struck me like I said yesterday, my wife's on the phone, and you would have thought, I mean, there was serious stuff going on, right? That, oh my, you know, who's going to be left off the bus and all that stuff. And it's just kind of a microcosm of what this next generation is going through. Nobody can handle anything anymore. It's like that gamer, the kid that shot up at the Madden, right? It's bad enough that now that you have video game sporting events. But then, you know, yesterday I told the story, this kid lost and went off and shot his competitors. Well, come to find out, like everything is right, he had a bunch of health issues. He was in a mental hospital a couple of times. We see these stories over and over and over again, and nobody can handle anything anymore. I mean, honestly. And I think about, like, everybody needs a trophy and all this stuff, and you had all these parents. And listen, for all good intents, I don't want to have my little precious one have to go through not getting a trophy, right? Because they're going to be sad for like 5 minutes. I know, 5 whole minutes. By the time you got home and unpacked the car, the kid had already forgotten about the stupid trophy. But no, they got to have one, right? And nobody can pick. He's bullying me. I didn't even know what bullying was. I didn't. You went to school, and you know what? Sometimes you had to get in the fight. You just did. After the fight was over, it was over. You moved on. You learned how to deal with things. I know, right? Well, I didn't want my little one to have to deal with it. Well, now that your little one's in her 20s, she can't deal with it. Right? And they say, well, I got anxiety. Well, the whole country does. It's incredible. I don't know. I feel bad. I do. I feel bad because I know. Well, you know what? I'm screwed too, so I'm not gonna feel that bad. But yeah, they're the ones. You know, the children of the great. Yeah, you're gonna pay for the having to pay for the sins of our greed and our just enormous appetite to live beyond our means. It'll be the one thing they'll say, well, it wasn't my fault. You're right. It's not. You're going to have to pay for it anyway. Speaking of greed, we had the new free trade agreement, if you will, with Mexico. We got details of it today. And I'll just say this. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I mean, we still left the steel tariffs on. Essentially, here's what it was. We're going to pay more for cars. That was really the big, and of course, Mexico promised to buy more stuff. And I guess as a way to protect American jobs, 40 to 45% of car parts have to be inside the cars that are produced in North America, made by workers making at least $16. So that was the big part of the deal. So I guess if you're a car parts manufacturer, you work for a car parts manufacturer and you make $16 an hour, then you got a little something out of that free trade agreement. We're going to talk about Google and what the president and maybe the administration's going to do to them next. Live like a Kardashian Tuesday. I'm asking everybody out there. Those of you that are my family and my friends, so that's like one person, and then all of you that are loosely even connected to me. I want everybody to give me $1,500. I'll tell you what, you don't have to give me $1,500, but you got to order $1,500 worth of stuff because I want to live like a Kardashian for one day. The problem is now Arlene says she wants to live like a Kardashian, so I guess we're going to have to bump it up. You know what? You're going to have to do $3,000. So that way Arlene and I can live like a Kardashian. And I know, I'm pretty sure Jason's probably going to call. He's going to want to live like a Kardashian. And Brian's going to want to live like a Kardashian. Glenn. All right, let's just call it $10,000. I mean, what's $10,000? It's nothing. I mean, go on a budget. You can afford it. Call up $10,000, and I will live like a Kardashian for one day. At 800-951-0592. So yesterday, and I guess the whole internet thing, right? Thank you, Al Gore, for creating the internet. We love you so much. Apparently, and I don't know who did the research on it all, but if you went into Google and you I guess, put in Trump. Okay? So you just Googled Trump. 96% of the Google search results are from the liberal media. And you're like, and even I was like, okay, that doesn't sound very logical, right? You would think, 60-40, and I'm just, there's probably more liberal than conservative news, 70-30, but 96% of the returns were from liberal sources, i.e., again, and I say this all the time, and don't be fooled. It's actually getting worse. And what I mean by that is the news you listen to, your local news, your national news. I don't care what channel. You will listen on 3, 5, 10, 12, 15, whatever channel it is. Right? Very, very few people now control it. I tell the story about my brother's company. This was a company that had, when he first started working there, they had, 15, 20 TV stations. They now are getting ready to have, they have stations and of the 200 market TV market. Actually, I think there's 210 TV markets. They have stations in half, and right now they're getting ready to make another buy. Right? They're going to go all the way. They eventually want to have every single market. That way, we can control what you hear and what you see. Right? And you think about Google. It's almost like a monopoly, right? And I use Google's about the only thing I use. Right? When I'm online, it's Google, and I use, and I go and I do it, and blah blah blah, and to find out that, hey, guess what? Even they are going to control what it is that you see and what you hear. This morning, Larry Kudlow, my favorite guy, the top economic advisor to the president, said that the administration is taking a look at whether Google searches should be regulated hours after Trump complained on Twitter about the search results. In a pair of early morning tweets, the president said Google search results for Trump news showed only the viewing and reporting of the fake new media. Right? Real, fake, it doesn't matter. It's all controlled. The origins of the complaint appear from an article from the PJ Media. Apparently that's the one who did the research, that 96% of Google results for Trump news are from liberal outlets. A Google representative said search is not used to set a political agenda, and we don't bias our results towards any political ideology. Any of you believe that? Right? There's an algorithm in there. And of course, I'm sure that when you deep in there, right? It's like, remember when Zuckerberg from Facebook testified in front of Congress? No, Google's not collecting data on you. Oh, and no, we're not selling it either. No way. I mean, if we did, we didn't know that we were doing it. And of course, we found out what they absolutely are. In his tweet, Trump said illegal with the question mark and wrote the company is controlling what we can and cannot see. The situation is serious and will be addressed. And I bring up Alex Jones, and I don't love Alex Jones. I don't. But he has a right to be heard. And again, this is happening. It's subtle, right? You don't even know because, let's face it, they don't want you to know. One of the things about the FCC is they've loosened their standards to the point where what my brother's company is doing today, they would have never been allowed to do 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Never. They had strict rules in place. We had the same rules in place for the banks. You could not be bigger than a geographical region. Like if you were a Southwest bank, that was it. Like maybe you could be in Arizona, New Mexico, and Las Vegas. Right? And, of course, what happened, right? Too big to fail, ruined the whole economy, and they've done nothing about it since. Patriot Radio News Hour. Don't you love the Internet? Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. That is our toll-free number. It is Live Like a Kardashian Tuesday. So we're just asking everybody out there, 10,000. I think that's fair. What's 10,000? Right? Call up and spend $10,000. So me and Arlene and Jason and Brian and Glenn, we can all live like a Kardashian for a day, but we need all of you to do it. You can't just have one or two of you, but we got to have all of you do it so we can, I don't even know if we can live like a Kardashian for a whole day, but maybe for lunch. Yeah. At 800-951-0592, we had a great early morning market, and then it went away on a consumer confidence number. Yeah, people are like, hey, things are, it's good. Right? Yeah, we're excited, and apparently that was bad. And then I think more probably had to do with the free trade U.S.-Mexico thing. Turned out to be not as super great. I mean, I guess it's better, right? They're going to buy some more stuff, and we're going to pay more for cars, but we're going to make sure that, hey, you got to at least have some. 40% of the cars got to be made by people making at least $16. Again, why? Because we have a central bank and we have fiat money, which is worthless. That's why. Well, it's going to be worthless. And what's going to happen 5 years from now? By the way, it goes in gradually, so I think that's got to be by 2023. When 2023 rolls around, right, they're probably going to say, well, for $16, that's not enough. How about $26 or $46? I mean, that's just how fiat money works, and there's only one way to hedge yourself against that, and that's right here at the Patriot Trading Group, 800-951-0592. Gold's down $2, 1,208. Silver is down about 4 cents. Make it 5 cents, $14.80. The NASDAQ is still in positive territory. The S&P is flat. The Dow is flat, again, on apparently a consumer sentiment number. Well, that's what they're saying on the headlines, and that's not true. But we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out because now they're saying Canada is next. The one thing I will say that was kind of really pretty interesting that the administration did is we got Mexico to sign some things that Canada now has to agree to. In other words, we kind of did the divide and conquer. Hey, when you got three, your son or daughter, they bring two friends home, and usually at some point in the night, two of them are picking on one of them. That's essentially what Trump did with Mexico. He got Mexico and said, hey, let's be best friends. And let's agree to do all this stuff, and then we'll force Canada to sign it. We'll see if that works. If it does, it'll be brilliant. But that's kind of really the nuts and bolts of the whole free trade agreement, and I think that's probably given some people for pause. But nonetheless, that's where the markets sit right now this morning. I do have, it's an interesting, we don't have time. I'll do it for tomorrow. I got something really interesting we'll run tomorrow. 800-951-0592. Everyone take care. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Stay off of Facebook, especially if you're going to slam everybody you know.